Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the BFS Fishing channel. And in this video, we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at this reel right here. Just kidding, we are looking at this reel right here. This is the Gotop DK100, and just like what you saw before, there is some controversy behind this reel. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. But before we do that, I do need to fully disclose that this reel was purchased from Dankung.com at a discounted price for review purposes. And so I got to say big thank you to Dankung. And I also have to give a huge shout out to a user on our Facebook group, BFS Finesse Fishing, who goes by the name of Andrew T. Without his goading, I don't think I would be looking at this reel and sharing it with you guys, but I am very, very glad that I did, because it seems like there's a lot of controversy and interest in this reel for very, very good reason, particularly this reason right here. Anyways, let's go ahead and unbox this reel. Again, this is the Gotop DK100. And what you get in the box is a nice schematic. They say that there is something like a 90% parts interchangeability with the reel that I just showed you before. But here it is. There's nothing else in the box. This is, again, the DK100 reel. And you can see right off the bat that it is very, very similar to this reel that I've got in my hand here on the right side. But let's go ahead and do some specs, and I'll do a little bit of a beauty shot for you guys so you can see what this reel looks like in close. Okay, so the manufacturer reports that this reel has a 6.8 to 1 gear ratio for a reported 61 centimeter per turn pickup rate. The lure weight range is going to be from 1.5 to 15 grams. It does cast 1 gram, but not very well because of the spool diameter. The manufacturer reports that this reel has about 5 kilograms of drag strength, and it comes with 10+1 ball bearings. The all-up weight that they report is 188 grams with a 7.6 gram spool weight. And the diameter is going to come in at 29.5 millimeters. And we'll take a look at all of that later and verify it. They say that you can hold about 120 meters of 0.6 go braid, 100 meters of 0.8 go braid, or 90 meters of 1.0 braid. Now, this is a fully CNC'd aluminum framed reel, unlike something like the iFish Band Tender Shoot, which actually is a kind of a composite, meaning the outer shell was aluminum and the inner shell was, or inner frame was a carbon fiber reinforced plastic. This, on the other hand, they CNC'd it out of a billet of aluminum. 90% metal construction. It does have a FTB clone braking system. And again, the manufacturer reports that there's a 99% parts interchangeability with the 2023 Conquest BFS. Now, I don't know if that 99% number is accurate. We're going to check that in a future teardown comparison video between the two, but they do say that the handle, the star drag, the fine tune knob or spool friction knob, they say the spool and the side plates are interchangeable. Now, I don't know which side plate, because I actually did try to swap the braking side plate and that didn't work, but maybe they're talking about the main gear side plate. Now, again, the big elephant in the room is that this reel is basically a facsimile of this reel right here. But just off first impressions, I gotta say that there are a few differences that make the reel not a one-to-one facsimile. It's not a faithful copy. And legality aside, because I'm not here to go into the details of the legality behind something like this, that aside, I don't know that this is going to be... I guess what I'm trying to say is basically, if you own a Conquest, rest assured, you guys are going to be okay. What I'm here to do is to show everybody what this reel is like and to show the differences between the two reels, because this is a pretty close copy. Anyways, right off the bat, first initial impressions, I gotta say that the reel does feel quite smooth. It's not perfect, but it is very, very good. And with that said, let's go over some of the sounds for you guys. So here is the star drag sound. So that's the star drag, and then here's the drag clicker. Here is the spool friction knob. And then the brake dial makes no sound at all. So let's go over some of the really quick on the surface differences between this and the Conquest. And the first thing that I noticed is that the handle is actually a longer diameter than the Conquest BFS over there. And the shimming on the handle knobs, one of them has a little bit of play there, but this one is absolutely perfect. The other difference is that the star drag itself is quite a bit larger, and the star drag resolution and tuning, it's definitely not as good as the Conquest. And again, we'll go into detail about all of these differences in a different video. The line guide is also definitely different. The spool is also going to be slightly different. There is a bearing. There's going to be 3 bearings actually that this reel doesn't have that the Conquest does have. And then the clutch button is obviously a different look and feel. The spool tension knob is fairly close. It's almost a 1-to-1 copy of the Calcutta Conquest spool tension knob or spool friction knob. The way that the side plate comes off is also nearly identical. And let's take a look at the FTB system. This indeed does come with spring-loaded brake shoes that move in and out, although the magnets are a semi-circular, curved, kind of a rectangular shape as opposed to the round magnets. FTB cover is a very similar color to the Conquest color, but the cutouts are a little bit different. And the way that this side plate goes on is similar, but it is not nearly as nice as the Conquest. So you do need to kind of push it into position, make sure that everything is nice and flat, and then you close the lever in order to get it to reseat. Anyways, let's go ahead and get some weights on this. We'll do a spool weight. And one other difference between the two is that this one doesn't have the silent tune O-rings on the spool shaft or on the bearings inside of here. And I think the bearing sizes are going to be different. And again, we'll go over all of that in the direct comparison video. But again, this comes in at 7.56 grams, the spool at least, which is under the reported 7.6 grams spool weight. And we'll go ahead and get an all-up weight. All right, so the all-up weight of this reel is coming in at 191.91, so 192 grams, which is a 4-gram difference heavier than what they report. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to see, this reel. But let me see if we can go ahead and do a free spool test. So not the best in the world, but the spool is very quiet. I don't feel any, I don't feel any roughness or geariness with this reel right off the bat. I will say that the drag does feel a little bit uneven when I'm going through it, and maybe we'll see why when we do the teardown of this reel. The line guide on my particular copy does have a little bit of marring on the front of it, which is a surface imperfection. There are some surface imperfections on the outside of this reel, and there are some machining marks, which I think is pretty normal for something like this, for a CNC'd reel. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this reel, please go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. If there's anything that you'd like me to specifically look at, please leave that in the comment section down below. I do go through all the comments, and I will be answering each and every one of your guys' questions. Yeah, I gotta say, I did have a chance to briefly take this out and put it through some paces. I wasn't able to get into anything large, but it does cast fairly well for a 29.5 millimeter spool. I will do a casting comparison, a direct casting comparison to the Conquest. It won't be, super thorough or anything like that, but at least we'll get to see if there is any kind of casting performance difference between the two reels. I honestly don't think that there will be, but who knows? Only the testing will actually tell us. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. It's a really quick first unboxing video. And with that being said, if you like this kind of content, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.